I was hoping that one of your grandkids or your one of your kids would come in and help you.
Yeah, my 2-year-old was busy. Otherwise, he could have done it.
Oh boy.
We had that was fun. I enjoyed it last night. You know, it's always good because we talk to in those conversations on Sunday we have such a wide array of traders that are starting out with small accounts, traders that are much more experienced, that are looking to, you know, take their trading to the next level, and every one of them have something in common. They're all looking to grow in knowledge, whether it's technical knowledge or fundamental knowledge or all of it.
Yeah, and Sunday nights are a good time for that. I know. So I'm sorry. I tried several times. I just couldn't figure out how to get to the next stop. I just expected to click on that, and it wouldn't accept it. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
I must have been doing something wrong.
Yeah, well, yes, guys, it's not easy as it seems to get on it the first time, and Jack always has to get me in, or I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, me too. That's my room.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's not you.
Yeah, okay. All right, I feel better.
Yeah, well, the grains look like it's gonna be a couple of weeks before the grains set up again.
Well, maybe. We'll see. I think the initial sell-off, it makes sense from Friday's numbers. That's why I wanted to wait and see. But now I'm just watching the ag stocks because they came out with it. They were initially bought, but now they're selling off too as the grains themselves sell off. So I find that more than passing interest. Although Bunge's back pushing against the 200-day, which it failed to hold on a monthly quarterly close, which let's see.
Yeah, it went right up in there again today.
Yep. Interesting though that the peso got a nice bid, and I was long. So I got out last night. I thought it would have been bid a little stronger. The most interesting thing to me on the board right now is that the European interest rates have just scooted right out of the chute here.
Oh, the Italians are out of control.
Yeah, you know what? They're through 2% now, so they're lower than U.S. yields. The U.S. yields are pushing, or we're trying to push, but it's now the Italian debt. Italians are up big, even the Bunds. So, and you know, I believe that the Fed is really locked in here by Europe, and I know somebody sent me that Wall Street Journal article that. About Draghi being, you know, going out with a bang here, you know, that he's not sitting quietly waiting for things, that he's pushing, which we certainly have watched and known. So I think that's really puts Powell in, and that's why I want to watch the metals here. Actually, the gold silver did exactly what it should have done last night. The copper's given up its whole early rally, which I find more than passing interest, but all the PMI numbers except for France, and that's only because the yellow vests have slowed their what's that phrase? Slow your whatever. They've slowed down, so spirits are up a little bit in France, but
that's an ugly pattern in copper.
Oh yeah, the fact where it failed last night was not a good fail. And you know, that's what they should have done. It was open, but that's why you can't just jump into this. The gold was like absolutely perfect. I mean, it was set up for it. And I'm sorry I missed the first flush down at it went down to 85, but it was so quick you couldn't. And then it made a new low right when Europe was opening at 84.70. I'm talking about the August gold. So. Very interesting. I didn't have a wish order in last night in the gold because I didn't know how low it could go. A friend of mine was over on Saturday afternoon, and we were talking. He said, "What do you think?" I said, "Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see 30 lower." And I could say that with comfort because I was actually short a few and long some silver. I just had to test it to see if that was right. And it was so minuscule it didn't matter, but it was. I wanted to test those waters. Now we'll see, especially with the European yields really dropping again. Because please, I know that the data out of Europe was tepid at best, but please, really.
The Italians, Ira, look like they want to go to 138 and a quarter.
Yeah, we know how good everything in Italy is because the FT tells me every day.
Yeah, I mean, they're above the 200 week and the 50 week or the 50 month, and it's a pretty good breakout. Yeah,
very good. You know what? Everybody, and you know what? Don't forget that's everybody's favorite short for all the. I've had to listen to all of the major bond guys. And again, why is the Italian up so much? Because what they're doing is synthetically creating a euro bond. So you bundle them. You take X amount of Italian, X amount of bunds, X amount of, and you catch the whole thing, but at least you enhance your yield. It's no different than subprime mortgages, the concept, which is enhance my return. So you buy a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you're all in euros. Thank you very much. And see you later. It's just, it is purely a chase for yield. And the Italian tells you that. Don't complicate it any more than that.
Now, SPU bonds are rolling back below its 200-day right now. The NASDAQ bonds, I need those over 50-30. And, they went up there and they can't hold. So until you get two closes over there.
I know. They went right to the S&P bonds went to the 200-day, I believe. Let me see.
Well, the minis, they spiked it to the upside. Now they're below it. Yeah.
I just have it up on a daily. But I saw it this morning. It was up through there. And I said, let's see where this, again, these closes are more important right now than what takes place because everybody, it's the first day of the month and the first day of the quarter, and everybody's chasing for a few things. So here, I could look at the board. So like Nutrient, I'm looking at the ag stocks. It was up big this morning. Now it's up 18 cents. Bunge is still kind of holding up there. Let's see what Archer Daniel's doing. I gotta punch that one in.
And Nutrient, I think that topped out on the opening.
Yeah, it had popped, but at least it had a good month and quarter close. Bunge did not have a good close for the quarter. So it's got room. And again, I only look at these as a concept of a low-risk play because they've so underperformed the market. I think that it's been critical. I mean, if you're looking to get involved in the market and you're looking for any type of real values, where are you going to find them? And they have decent, some of them have decent dividends. And if you think there's anything into the ag sector, that's where it's going to be. I heard you talking about cat and deer. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, they don't act particularly well here. I mean, they've deer got its ORL stops today, and now it's kind of holding here. But if that starts down tomorrow, that's over with. Cats come down and fill the gap. Lumentum, which is the chip, LITE, I mean, that thing's up 40%.
Yeah.
And now that's coming off for a gap fill.
Yeah, and the curves are all flattening here, as they should have. I expected them to really flatten more. I'm kind of surprised that the move hasn't been more dynamic, to tell you the truth. Because, again, I'm talking about the effect. You get the S&Ps up 32, 34 handles, and that's all you get. And that was after a huge rise. I saw, Judd, you wrote that there was 100,000 lot trade that went through. Lo and behold,
Yeah. They didn't know.
No, nobody knows.
103,000 contracts traded in the closing range in the cash market on Friday.
Yeah, it's and And the NFA is chasing, what are they? I'm not sure what they're chasing. But
they're chasing somebody that might have spoofed the market with a 5,000 lot 10.
Yeah, I know.
It's a joke.
Yeah. But this stuff goes on. And again, I just don't understand why CEOs and the President of the United States, when they're tweeting out things of a financial nature that can benefit somebody financially who knows what's coming, why that's allowed. I don't get it. I live in a alternative universe.
Yeah, well.
But you know what? No use tilting a windmills. You can only play with what you have.
And the bonds, the 30-year bonds put in a great low today. I mean, a great low.
I know. It's
they're not going to sell those with all the European debt going.
No, exactly. They can't, because now everybody's just chasing yield. That's how Draghi's pushing this. Is that okay? You want to play? Chase. There goes Rudy the Rabbit. Go grab it.
Yeah, and guys, if 155.22 is the daily ORH and the 30-year bonds. So that's something to keep on your radar for late in the day. That's where all the buy stops are.
Yeah, it's, and again, it is what it is, as they say. It is what it is, and you got to just play it. But this is, again, I keep arguing that the interest rate game is going to be made in Frankfurt, not in Washington. And Trump's response to that is not to be taken lightly. And that's why I wanted to see these next couple of days to see how these interest rates react. The Bunds did break last night for not too long. What's the low? We're well off the low.
172.47.
Yeah, we're 75 ticks off the low. And you're not talking about 6% yields. You're talking about where are they?
They're trading at my last is a quarter, 73 and a quarter. That's delayed. I gotta go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm going by the cash. Let's see. So they're probably about a negative 34 basis points. Even the French bonds have gone negative this morning. That spreads into about 32, 31 and a half, which is just preposterous. But again, when you synthetically create a euro bond by buying, if you stick to the ECB's capital key, so you're buying 18% of your portfolio. If you're mimicking the ECB, if you can believe what they say, because there is legally they have to do it by the capital key. Although Draghi says it can be out of sync for a small amount of time, meaning that they can buy whatever they want. So if the ECB wants to buy more Italians to try to screw everybody who may be short, they can do that, and they'll override what their prescribed statutory numbers are. But he says we'll correct it over time. He said that in a press conference, not making that up. And that's where the ball lies. So very interesting.
Yeah, I want to see what happens on Wednesday. Before everybody leaves for vacation, is everybody going to check out and take their money, or they want to be risk on for the next week or two?
Well, I'm going to tell you what, if you look at the emerging markets right now, which are performing unbelievably, you got Brazil. I'm looking at the currencies. The ruble is under 63. The ruble chart looks unbelievably good. The peso is, as we've discussed many times, an alternative. The only thing that scared me about the peso is, again, why AMLO didn't make it, didn't go to the meeting. And if I was a financial journalist, I'd be in Mexico asking that question. Really, you decide not to go to this meeting? This is and Mexico had the upper hand here, so I don't know why they chose
Mexico doesn't act well. If the stock market doesn't act well. I mean, the
no,
IRX
I know,
is much better.
I know, that's right. But the currency is, when it rallied that day, when they said he wasn't going to the meeting, I thought that was interesting. It caused me to get long. and I went, as I said, I went a home long, but I am very attentive to this. And technically, on the currency, it looks, looks pretty good. It's holding some.
But on the real or the peso? Peso?
The peso. Yeah.
Yeah, the peso is right up at the futures went right up to the 50-day.
Yeah, and no, they're above the 200-day, but they really need to challenge. They keep running into a wall at the 200-week.
Well, yeah, I'm just looking at the cash now.
Yeah, well, I'll put up the cash. It's
a cloud breakout. So why doesn't it go back to 187? I don't know.
Yeah, let's see. Let me just see.
Or 1870.
Yeah, we're well under the 200-day now, and there's the 200-week comes in at 18.78, and we're at 1906. So it keeps looking at that. What will be interesting tonight, the RBA, the Reserve Bank of Australia, decides tonight. What time is that meeting? I think 12:30 New York time.
Yeah. Well, the Aussie's not trading too well today.
No, the market is built in a cut of 25 basis points, by the way, and that's at 12:30 Eastern time, so 11:30 Chicago time. You will get an announcement, and presently it's 1.25 on the overnight on the overnight rate. So they're looking for a move to 1%. Because of weakness out of China and whatever, and because they can. So I'll be interested to see the way certain markets perform around that. See what U.S. interest rates markets, because again, it plays right into Trump's narrative, which is everybody's cutting rates. What's wrong with us? Except Norway. I know Norway raised rates, but Norway is a horse of a different color.
And the Norway's right at its 200-day, and it's a moving average there, and that's got a decision to make whether it can weaken through here or it remains strong.
Yeah. Interesting correction in the Euro Swiss, so they got it, and the Swiss has some issues. Interesting. If you're trading Swiss stocks and you're in Europe, you can't trade them in Europe today, because the Swiss and the Europeans are having a significant argument. So the Swiss said, okay, we're not buying into that. You can't trade the Swiss. So you have to find other ways to trade Swiss stocks if you're in Europe. Yeah.
And they just crushed Swissy, didn't they?
They did. Yeah. And you know what? And Swiss opened and made, so again, honestly, gold Swiss last night, if I could have bought that flush, if I had a wish order, I would have put that on, because the Swiss was hanging around in the 80s. I'm talking about the futures prices in the 80s, high 80s for quite a while, even when the gold was down $25. So it did give you a little look. But interesting action. I'm fascinated with the grains. I want to see where I'll be very comfortable if the beans actually, let's see, the high was made on the opening last night. So everybody kind of looked at it in the same way. Oh, China. And then, of course, the planting intentions really favored beans on Friday. And I knew that number was going to cause havoc. And that's why I told everybody to be cautious and let it give you the opportunity. The interesting thing is that the wheat is as weak as it is, especially with the heat wave that's decimating Europe right now. It's 110 in France.
Crazy, isn't it? Here,
yeah,
I
it's
just
really
put
hot.
up the gold Swiss. That's coming up for a gap fill right now.
Yep.
In the futures.
Yeah. Oh, hold on, let me put up my chart. Which duration are you on?
I'm on the active daily continuation, gold,
okay.
Swiss franc.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, I have it showing 1,366 Swiss to it.
It's a low. Yeah, it's 1366.9.
Yeah. Oh, you have it up in spot. I use the futures, but it's the same.
Well, that is futures.
Oh, you're using futures. Okay.
I got them. Well, I got them all, but I put up the futures chart so everybody could see it. Futures.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a very interesting chart. If you put up a monthly and go way back, gets really interesting. But the high last week was 1385. When was that on? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we came off as it should have. I mean, that was a parabolic move. Yeah, parabolic moves scare me. That's why I'm still working. Who's laughing? That's not funny. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It sounds like Pax. That's okay, Pax. I can take it. I'm a big boy. Give it to me because I deserve it.
Tell you, I was laughing, Ira, because it's maybe why I'm still working too. That's funny.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get old. You start having respect for $1, and then you're screwed.
Yeah, except everybody in my family reminds me, why don't you like those parabolic moves? I am the slower fool. I've come to realize. What can you say? What can one say?
I want to pull up this gold in euros. I'm going to pull this thing back up.
Yeah, that's an interesting chart too. Let's go look at it. We're not near all time. I don't think we're.
No, it was just that area where it matched up at 1440.
Yeah.
Which
you know, gold yen, you know, which was one of my favorites until the tariff discussions. That was the way I was really playing it. That made like 35-year highs. Let me make sure I'm telling you right.
Well, I was
looking
at the quarterly chart, Ira, where it broke down from July 2012.
Yeah.
So basically, it went right there on last Tuesday. And that's why I took off most of the minors and everything else, because I saw that match and that fib area in the gold, you know, between the half or the third and the half on the big swing, on a 10-year swing. I thought, well, if they're going to jam everybody, it's going to be right here.
The yen, if you go back, and you can't use the electronic futures, but if you go back and use you know, the pit futures.
Oh, hold on. GCE. Okay.
Okay. We're going to test that high of January 1980 when I was on the yacht Paranda. Yes. How about that? That's where you're at.
Yeah, well, you like that was bartending down in St. Martin.
Yeah. It caused me to come back and get married. That was the end of that story.
That's it. You were pulling your hair out for like a week.
As my wife said to me, you've had too much sun when I proposed. Oh yeah. I've tortured her for the next 39 years. It's killed her.
Yeah, so there it is. Hold on. That's a quarterly.
You got to go back and look, to January 1980 from where we're at. That's on the gold yen.
On annual chart. Let me build a second. There it is.
And the gold yuan, you know, that's the all-time high was made, of course, in, let's see, August of 11 when gold was really pushing. But this too is fascinating to me.
Wow.
But it's been a parabolic move, you know, and that always advises me caution. So, I mean, you really think about it, we had almost a $60 break in gold over the last 2 weeks from now, you know, from where we were on that high on June 24th or whatever. Yeah. And that all came after the Fed and Draghi, you know, as I tried to make clear in the blog last night, because that's not insignificant. You know, everybody thinks tariffs. Okay, yes, I know, but it's the equity markets and the gold markets are feeding off the same central bank phenomenon, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so I just put up a quarterly chart in the gold from the 2011 high, and you know, I like to, as you once told me, you know, you going to be a fibbo, you're going to be a fib idiot. But, you know, I only like looking at the fibs on the really long time frame wiggles.
Yeah. Yeah, no, listen, it's important because, again, it'll show you, you know, one more element of when things get beyond reasonable.
Yeah, and it went right to the 50% between the half and the third and the 50% of the big swing. And as you know, another 100 Howard always taught us that's going to be the screw zone, and it did. It screwed everybody.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's right. All right. Yeah, I'll try. I'm not sure what I'm doing tomorrow. I got a dentist appointment, but I'm gonna. If you get people in the room, you guys are going on vacation, though, right?
Pax is around. I'm leaving Wednesday. I'll be back Thursday night. I'll be in Friday.
Okay. Yeah, unemployment. I know.
Yeah, we'll be around.
All right. Maybe. Are you around tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'll buzz in the morning.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Sarah.